our coverage is turning now to the Tampa Bay area.
Yeah, that's where we find Local 10's Andrea Martinez. Andrea, what can you tell us?
Christy, Alexis, there has not been a lot of wind or rain here. It's pretty much been the calm before the storm. I'll take you and give you a look at what's going on just nearby us. This is a pretty low-lying bridge that we are on, and typically you would see the seawalls here, the waves just crashing against them. That is not the case right now. As a matter of fact, like I mentioned, it's been pretty calm, and that has been good because people are using this time to get their homes ready, to prepare, to stock up. You can see, I don't know if you can see behind that car, there are people gathering sand there into those sandbags to take back home. And that is very necessary because those mandatory evacuation zones, if you're in them, the clock is ticking and the deadline to evacuate from them is tonight at 9 p.m. Hundreds of drivers lining up for sandbags across the Tampa Bay area this morning as monster Hurricane Ian churns northward in the Gulf of Mexico. Some folks waiting hours.
Even just with the normal rain like we've been having, it comes up about 2 feet in his backyard and in the front.
The storm has been rapidly strengthening, expected to bring a life-threatening storm surge to Florida's west coast. And for the first time in over 100 years, Tampa could get a direct hit. In Pinellas County, people boarding up windows as the hurricane looms. Florida remains under a state of emergency with hundreds of thousands of mandatory evacuations already underway and some 7,000 National Guard members activated.
Safety is paramount. When you're talking about storm surge like this, when you're talking about historic flooding, that water is a very, very difficult adversary. You do not want to put yourself in harm's way.
FEMA loading 360 trailers with over 2 million meals. Several schools and universities canceling class.
Make sure you're executing your plan. This is imminent.
Long lines at nearby supermarkets. Shelves cleared out of essentials.
Just topping off some gas for generators. Hopefully don't have to use them. Just getting prepared.
Throughout Florida, gas station lines swelling as people either gear up to stay or get out.
If they say mandatory evacuation, it's time to go.
It is time to go. And like I mentioned, this is a pretty low-lying bridge and it connects St. Pete and Tampa. So it connects that west area to the east. And that's why we're seeing a lot of eastward traffic here. That's what we've been seeing all day on this causeway. People just getting out. They don't want to be close to shore, like the governor mentioned. That surge is the big concern. So people getting out, preparing here. But again, like I mentioned, it's been mostly calm as people make these preparations. And if they are staying here, if they are evacuating, they're either going inland or they're really preparing to hunker down. Guys?
And Andrea, you've been out there all morning long. We've seen you from the sandbags to now to the evacuations. Can you talk about the shift in the community out there?
You know, everyone really is just in kind of an action mode. They are really just preparing. Everybody's out at the grocery stores, at the gas stations, like I mentioned, really getting themselves prepared for this, even getting out of town. Some people rushing to the airport, we saw earlier this morning, getting on a flight to get out of Florida altogether. But really that's been the feel. And a lot of people that I've talked to have said that while they are born and raised here in Tampa, this year feels a little different because, like we've been saying, this could be that 100-year storm, that historic storm. So they've been saying that this year does feel a little different. And again, they're not taking any chances. They're preparing and doing everything they can to make sure their homes and their families are safe.
They definitely have had a lot of near misses. I grew up in the Tampa Bay area and I remember that well. Thanks for reporting. We'll talk to you a bit later this afternoon.